What does Trump 2.0 mean for U.S. foreign policy? Donald Trump's win in Tuesday's presidential election comes on the back of a heated campaign for the United States election, dominated by his trademark incendiary rhetoric, and it is likely to leave much of the world on edge. On the campaign trail this time around, Trump promised to tackle a range of domestic issues, including immigration and inflation. He also signaled a return to his America First foreign policy, indicating a turn towards greater isolationism and less international collaboration. Experts say Trump is likely to harden approach to Ukraine and China and infuse more unpredictability in the Middle East. But that did not preclude Trump from making grandiose claims of being able to end Russia's war against Ukraine within 24 hours of taking office, bringing peace to the Middle East, and exerting dominance over China, one of the U.S.'s largest geopolitical rivals. And with the world facing innumerable challenges, from the climate crisis to the wars in Ukraine, Gaza and Lebanon, the direction Trump takes on foreign policy will have wide-reaching effects. So what will a second Trump administration mean for U.S. foreign policy? Here's a look at a few key issues and where the president-elect stands. Ukraine and Russia. Trump has said he would resolve the war between Ukraine and Russia within 24 hours of his return to office. If I'm president, I will have that war settled in one day, he told a CNN town hall last year. Trump, who has reportedly maintained close ties with Putin, has also criticized Zelensky's requests for additional U.S. assistance to Ukraine, saying, "It never ends." There is the possibility that Trump could reach a deal with Putin that excludes Zelensky's input, and could potentially concede quite a lot in terms of Ukraine and its territory, said Leslie Vinjamori, the director of the U.S. and America's program at the think tank Chatham House in London. China competition. For years, the U.S. and China have been locked in geopolitical competition as the world's two largest superpowers. The countries have clashed over a range of issues, including trade, Taiwan, and dominance over the Asia-Pacific region. The International Crisis Group, ICG, think tank said Trump's approach to China is largely based on trade, noting that the ex-president places the U.S.'s economic relationship with China above other issues, such as human rights. In 2018, for instance, Washington instigated a trade war with Beijing after the Trump administration slapped tariffs on more than $250 billion worth of Chinese imports. That spurred a retaliatory measure from the Chinese government. Trump has said he plans to keep up his tariff policy if re-elected, imposing a blanket 10% tariff on all imports. But for China specifically, he threatened tariff rates as high as 60% on goods. Joshua Kurlantzick, a senior fellow for Southeast Asia and South Asia at the Council on Foreign Relations think tank, said Trump has been more assertive and more aggressive on China on the campaign trail. But Kurlantzick cautioned that the former president often says things as leverage and then changes them. Global cooperation, multilateralism. While in office, Trump notoriously derided international bodies such as the United Nations and the NATO alliance, and withdrew from multilateral accords, including the Paris Agreement on climate change. He has accused Washington's NATO allies of not paying their fair share for the bloc's collective defense and has warned them that his government would not protect them if they were attacked by Russia. NATO's charter contains a mutual defense clause for all members. European countries are feeling deep trepidation about a second Trump term, Vinjamrui said. They perceive the continent has a huge amount to lose on the security side as well as on economic cooperation. There are real concerns that Trump might push them harder on tariffs, on China, and be a very disruptive force to the G7, which many Europeans feel has been a very positive venue for cooperating on economic and security issues, Vinjamori said. Referencing the Group of Seven, a forum for some of the world's largest economies. They're concerned that we may be looking at a G6 not a G7. Campaign Trail. Campaign Trail.
政治人物一系列的竞选造势活动。
Tackle. Tackle.
处理、解决、进行、交涉。
Immigration. Immigration.
从另一个国家移入的移民，移民检查。
Inflation. Inflation.
通货膨胀，充气。
Isolationism. Isolationism.
孤立主义，不干涉国际事务的政治思维。
Collaboration. Collaboration.
合作、协同、共同配合。
Unpredictability. Unpredictability.
不可预测性。
Geopolitical rival. Geopolitical competition. Geopolitical rival. Geopolitical competition.
地缘政治的对手，地缘政治的竞争。
Administration. Administration.
管理、行政、管理机构、管理人员、行政人员、一任政府的官员或内阁与阁员。
Concede.
认输、承认失败、放弃、权利、主张、不情愿的、承认、认可。
Clash. Clash.
名词，打斗、冲突、争论、抵触、旗舰。动词，打斗、冲突、抵触、争执。
Instigate. Instigate.
发起、启动、展开、促成。
Tariff.
关税、关税清单。
Retaliatory measure. Retaliatory measure.
报复措施、反击手段。
Threaten. Threaten.
威胁、恐吓、危害。
NATO. NATO.
北大西洋公约组织。
North Atlantic Treaty Organization. North Atlantic Treaty Organization. Multilateral accord. Multilateral accord.
或多国之间的协议。
Mutual defense clause. Mutual defense clause.
共同防御条约。
Trepidation. Trepidation.
担心、惊恐、不安。